Disclaimer: this podcast sometimes covers topics that may be offensive to some people, such as suicide, mental health, drug and alcohol use, and more. You have been warned.
Happy Monday, everyone. Welcome back to your Strength of Southwest podcast. I'm your co-host, Molly Heydrich.
And I'm your other co-host, Blake Alley.
Y'all, since today is Monday, it is the start of Mental Health Week here at Blue Valley Southwest. Us at Sources of Strength are so excited for this because we have been working so hard on this. Our projects committee and Sophie Oatman and Glenn, our president, have been working so hard to make Health Week really, really great for all of you.
Oh, yes. I'm very excited. Are you excited?
I'm so pumped to see, because we don't really know what Sophie and Glenn have been planning, so we're just, we're kind of in the dark, and, we're just going to be really surprised with, what's going on, and I'm so excited.
Yes, that is going to be a big thing, and I'm pretty sure we're all excited about that. But let's get to the topic of today. What is the topic of today?
Today's topic is the first section of our wheel, which is family support. What is family support to you, Blake?
So, family support to me is just anyone who you could call your family. That could be blood related, that could be step siblings, step parents, that could be foster parents, guardians, a dog, a neighbor, anyone who you could consider your family.
Definitely agree. And kind of just adding on to that, I know I play sports, and my softball team, those girls are my family. That's my band of sisters, and then obviously my really close friends are also just kind of into my family. My parents have kind of adopted all of them. We have dinner all the time, and it's super fun. For me, family support just really is helpful because about a year ago I was diagnosed with severe anxiety, and throughout all of that, my family, my parents, and especially my friends and my teammates were just so supportive with that, and just kind of understood that, hey, sometimes I might need a pep talk, or sometimes I might need to just tell someone to tell me to breathe, because sometimes I do forget to do that.
Yeah, I can feel that. And I think that's interesting about family support, how positive friends and family support can sometimes be hand in hand with each other.
And I think especially because two other sections on our wheel are positive friends and mentors, and I think both of those can kind of overlap into family support, and I think vice versa, family support can also overlap into positive friends and mentors, and those three, the first three sections of our wheel are just kind of all tied together in the way that you have people that support you, and no matter especially how you may feel, and as alone and as in the dark as you feel, there is somebody here, at least one person, who feels some sort of love for you. And I think that's the most important thing, especially as we go into Mental Health Week, to remember.
Oh, yeah. And I think with family support, it's really it's really just not at school.
Yes.
Right? A lot of the time, family support is out of school support that you can focus on.
For sure.
Versus mentors and positive friends might be more at school kind of supports. And going into what you said, for me, it's the theater is rep and all of that, and even the people who are not in rep but still participate in the main stage shows. It's it's one big family with them, and everyone can relate and really get a feel for who's there for you. And I did a project in my sociology class about subgroups, and I talked about the theater and what people think about it, and it was some really interesting findings.
That's so fun. And I think kind of just branching off of that, I think what a lot of people don't realize is that family support, you do not have to be actual family, right? My Sources of Strength people, none of us are blood related.
No.
But these are people that I consider my family and that I consider my support. So if you don't have a good home life, and if you're not really close with your parents, if they don't give you support, if your siblings and you fight all the time and they don't give you a lot of support too, go to other people that you consider family for family support. It does not have to be your immediate family or your family at all, because like I said earlier, like my softball team is my family. Like those are the girls that I know like I can go to for absolutely any problem that I have, and they'll be there for me. But absolutely none of us are related in any way.
So, do you have like any big story you could tell us about like your stories of family sport and how it's helped you?
Yeah, so when about a year ago when I was diagnosed with anxiety, I was in Houston for a softball tournament and I just broke down. It was just me and my dad in the hotel room, and I totally just broke down and just kind of lost it, and I could see and feel like this kind of like life that I had built for myself just kind of like disintegrating. Like, what am I going to do now? But I think like he gave me hugs, he talked me through it. He kind of just showed me that like what I'm feeling is not wrong in any way, which I think is super important because a lot of people that have anxiety and depression, they think that like they're so wrong for feeling this way, but you're not. And I feel like your family support and your friends and your mentors can really, really help you see that like it's okay. And I know that is said so much and it's such a cliche, but like it's so true. Like
I think a lot of people feel guilty for feeling how they do too.
For sure.
For maybe they don't really understand how they're feeling, and they might feel guilty because they don't really understand what it is. That's why it's so important to have this family support so they can help you identify that problem and be the connectors you need to get the help.
Little sources of strength term there.
Oh, yeah.
Connectors. Oh yeah. And I think just kind of like going off of that, like when I kind of felt like almost like a burden to my family in the beginning, you know, like they have to do so much stuff for me just to like make me feel okay about myself. But like the thing is, like, you're not a burden. Like, don't ever think that you're a burden because you're not. Like, it's okay to ask other people for help. And again, it's such a cliche, and I literally cannot tell you how true it is. Like, ask people for help. I promise you they will help you. And if they don't, come to us at Sources of Strength.
Oh, yeah.
We'll get you some help. We'll give you hugs. I like hugs.
All the hugs.
All the hugs.
All of the hugs. Hug for you. Hug for you.
Yes, for sure. So, okay, Blake, tell us about, like, some ways that, like, us as people can give family support to people who need it.
So, I feel like ways people can give family support is, obviously, if you are a part of a family and you have a member of your family that is suffering or just in need of some kind of help, there are many ways you can be there for them. For example, my mom recently, she had this medical problem where one of her plates in her spine exploded.
Oh.
Yeah. Basically, when this happened, it was a big shock for all of us.
Yeah.
And she was in pain and we couldn't identify why. So she wasn't able to do a lot of the things that she's normally able to do around the house and to pick us up or all of these different things. So I think it's really important to just show to be there for family when they can't be there, when they can't do the things they normally can, and just to show support for them, because sometimes that's all you can do, and but sometimes that's the biggest thing you can do,
and
is
I think,
to be
like,
there for them.
Going off of that, like, you know, it's important to help other people who can't help themselves. You know, like, your mom had absolutely no control over her medical problems. Like, you guys had no control over that, but what you did have control over is how you rebounded from that and how you helped her out and made her feel like everything was going to be okay, you know?
And to go off of the idea of family support and what it is can be a broad spectrum, right? My family is not your normal family at all. My parents are divorced and have been divorced since I was a baby, right? And I have my mom, and I have my stepdad, and I have my step-siblings, and then I have my dad, and then I have my stepmom and my step-siblings.
Yeah.
So a lot of people in my family would call what a lot of other people would say is not a real family. But to me, they are closer than they are family to me.
Yeah.
They are strong, and I have such a huge connection with my siblings, and all the time people get so surprised when I tell them we're not blood related because it's like, what, you look so alike, or you act so much alike each other. How are you not related, you know?
And I think that just goes back to, like, the amount of time that you guys spend together and, like, how, like, close you guys all are. Like, I've never met your family. They sound awesome. And I think it's just, like, it goes back to just the point that, like, your family does not have to be blood related to you. You know, like, Blake's family is blended, and a lot of people's families are blended families. But, like, that's okay because guess what? They're still your family. That's why they're called blended families.
But I think a story for me is how family sport has really helped me. Basically, my mom is good friends with this lady named Mindy Raby, and her daughter Lily Raby, she goes to this school and she's a senior, and same with her son, he's a 8th grader at the middle school, right? We call each other cousins because we feel like cousins even though we're not related. But basically, it's just this feeling. My mom is so close with this friend that she feels like my aunt, and they feel like my cousins. So it doesn't like your extended family can even be non-related to you. It's just those people that you have a good time with, you know?
Yeah.
Like, we go out to the beach all of the time, and one year there was a tropical storm, and we just got on this floaty and went out into the ocean, and we had a blast. It just really goes to show that family can be anything.
Yes.
And all of those people can give you strength no matter where they come from, no matter who they are. So if you're struggling, if you have trouble, your family can be there for you.
Yeah.
You know? And
And,
your
like,
family can be anyone.
Yeah. And, like, we keep going back to this because it's so important. Like, if your family, like, if your actual family is not there for you, I promise you, you have a different family. You know, like, Blake, you have your, obviously, blood-related family, and then you have your theater family. You know, like, I have my blood-related family, then I have my softball family. You know, like, and if you're not involved in anything, guess what? Your friends can be your family. Your dog can be your family. I love my dog. My dog is always there for me. Never asks any questions. She just lets me rant. It's great. Go rant to your dog or your cat.
Or
my
your
friend
lizard.
My friend Audrey has a fish. She talks to her all the time. Her name is crap. I don't remember the name of the fish.
Fishington, I think that's
No.
it.
What's the hedgehog?
Hedgehog.
The fish.
that is hilarious. Oh.
All right, guys. So, just to wrap it up, again, our main point today, family support does not have to be your actual family.
Well, something I want to say.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, you may be listening into this and you may be thinking, even with all these extended things that family support can be, you may still think that I don't really have a group like that. But you just have to remember, this is one small section of a huge wheel that you can get your strength from. So if you want to hear about those other sections, I would come to our next podcast.
Oh, yeah. And next week, guys, we have a special guest. It's going to be a big surprise. And our guest and me and Blake are going to be talking about positive friends.
Oh, yeah. That's a big one for me.
Yes. And a little bit of Southwest news. Football won their regional game last week, which is,
insane.
I think, was a surprise to all of us.
Yeah.
So just go out and support your Southwest family and just be a Southwest kid.
Oh, yeah.
Go support the football team. This is so crazy. Everybody is so excited for them.
Yeah. Well, you know, we in ourselves are a Southwest family.
Yes.
I think the principals and all the teachers like to push that a lot. So just remember, even if you don't feel a strong family connection, Southwest is your family.
Oh, yeah.
And I think we know the best member of that family is Sources of Strength. What?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah. Shameless plug. Hello.
Oh, speaking of shameless
Our
plugs.
social medias. So, y'all, our Instagram is BBSW_strength. Go give that a follow. Our Twitter, which is run by me, Molly, and our amazing producer, Jack, is @SourcesSW. And we have a TikTok, which is also BBSW_strength. That's going to be very interesting. Y'all should go give that a follow. I think we're really excited to see the content on there.
Oh, yeah.
All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up here. Yeah. Thanks for listening to your second episode of Strength in Southwest, and we will see you next week.
Oh, yeah.
Finis.